Welcome to week 2 of the expedition, and it is Rainforest Week. It's brought me over to the west coast of Tasmania. Behind me you can see the Arthur River bubbling along at a very good pace. That's because over the last 2 days since I've been on the west coast, it has been raining. That's a classic part of a rainforest, I suppose. It has to rain. So that's good for the rainforest, not so good for setting up tree houses, but we'll see if we can balance them out. I'm just about to head into the rainforest and we'll get our first feel for what a rainforest is like in just a moment. Well, first impressions as I've walked into the rainforest are that it's cool or even cold. And that might just be the weather generally, but it does feel cooler in here than where I was at Arthur River. It is wet, it's moist. Underfoot, it's soggy. And you can see the forest floor is quite open with fallen logs covered in moss and branches. You can see Dicksonia antarctica, the tree fern, or man fern it's sometimes called. There are birds tweeting away, but I'd say it's not at the moment anyway as noisy with bird life as in the dry eucalypt forest. And it's dark, or much darker than where I've been, and that's because the canopy is much thicker above my head, so there's less light coming down. But there is sunlight coming through in different shafts and bursts. But overall, it's got a really different feel about it. Now I'm on the look for a nice place to set up a base camp and then possibly find some trees that we might be able to climb. Although you'll see all that stuff growing on the tree there, that big myrtle, those are epiphytes, so plants growing on other plants, which can make it really tricky to climb the trees because we don't want to make a massive mess of whatever we do climb. So it's going to be challenging to find a good climbing tree in the rainforest. Well, I've had a look around and I think I've got a really great spot to camp. So I've walked all the gear in. It's about 200 meters off the road, and I've set up a fly. You can see a shelter there because it's going to rain a lot in the next couple of days, and down there's my ground tent in case I need that. But the aim will be to try and find at least a low-hanging tree house for tonight. So that's base camp set up, getting ready to go. Now that is the tree house slash the portal edge, and what I've done, I'm going to set it up close to the ground tonight, and we'll do what we did last week. But you can see it's just going over the branch of a myrtle tree, a low branch, and it's coming back down, and it's very securely attached to a leatherwood trunk over there. So I'll pop it out and I'll show you what it looks like. There it is. That is, fast forward a few minutes, and that is the treehouse slash portal edge set up very close to the ground. I think I'll sleep there tonight though. It's hanging out of a tree, so that counts. Or maybe we can call it the ground house just for tonight. And we'll go looking for a tall tree to hang it out of tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's have a look around the forest and see what sort of little things we can find. There are quite a few species of trees here in the rainforest, but this one is the most common or dominant canopy tree, I reckon, and it's the myrtle, or Nothofagus cunninghamii. And it's got small hard leaves, and it's what I'm hanging out of tonight in the treehouse. But there are other species, quite a few other species of trees in the rainforest, and we'll explore them during the week. Alright, you botanists, I've got a challenge for you. I'm looking at the trunk of a leatherwood tree, and it's got mosses and all sorts of wonderful things going on, but it's also got these well, I'm going to call it a vine, because you can see it's got sort of runners going up the trunk, and it goes 20, maybe even 30 meters up some of these trees, with these leaves coming off all the way up the tree. I'll try and show you. You see up there? And up it goes. So what is it? Botanist? Common rainforest vines in Tasmania? I don't know what you'd search for. I'd love to know though, because I'm going to be surrounded by it all week. Well, I haven't even gone 10 metres from base camp and all this stuff to look at. Is it just me, or is this fungus having a massive party on this fallen log? I think there'll be a lot of fungus talk this week, actually. Fungus. More fungi. We'd have to give credit to this tree fern. It's fallen over, grown back up again, and out the top of it, where it fell over, it's sprouted some seedlings and they've grown into little trees. So I've got a sassafras and a myrtle growing out of the top of the fern. There are a couple of things that burrow in the rainforest. These ones I suspect are made by a wolf spider, but we will find another burrowing creature later in the week. I'll show you another special burrower, but I think that's a wolf spider.